Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone is doing alright. So I thought it might be a good time to catch up on the Invesco Income Advantage ETFs that came out in I want to say like mid-July. Uh, Pardon me if I don't have like the exact date correct. I believe it was around like the 19th or so. But you can easily fact check that by just going to their website. So they released three ETFs, and I want to thank Cookie Bush for just nudging me for like on these products. So there's RSPA, there's QQA, and there's EEFA. And then this he or she mentioned that there's also like ITWO, but that's from ProShares, and I'm slacking apparently. But I did mention ITWO in a recent Roundhill Barbarians video, because RDTE and ITWO came out like around the same time. So I just kind of like threw it as a two-in-one. So for some reason you're interested in that, yeah, you can feel free to look at that video. So I'm just gonna cover these three Invesco. This in some of the language they use like the term like options overlay, so I guess I'll borrow that. And I was kind of wondering if these will be interesting enough. So as a matter of disclosure, I still have my high yield option ETFs, and and this is just my opinion. Like the current situation, it's gonna be a battle between YMAX and XDTE to be like kind of like the king of the high yield ETFs. I guess you can also say like it could be really be QDTE versus YMAG, but I mean I'll leave that up to you, or maybe you think like it'll be like the small caps. That's fine too. But I see like YMAX and XDT kind of fighting out just because like YMAX and YMAG they'll be, I guess, like going forward, like be like a weekly income, well, not income, but I guess like income excuse me, I keep using that word, like I should say like distribution ETF. So like those two have kind of fight it out, and then now like QQA, RSPA, and EFAA. I don't know if they'll be offering anything that's like really great for to attract enough people into these ETFs, but we'll see. They definitely have the expense ratio right. So QQA normally will be 29 basis points, or like 0.29%. RSPA same thing, 29 basis points. EFAA will be a little bit pricier, but it's still very respectable, 39 basis points or 0.39%. And then just to kind of like go over like if you look closely at some of the market material, you'll notice that like from like July through like December 31st, like until like the end of the year, the expense ratio is actually going to be waived. So it's actually like they're working for free up until this point, and then after that, I'm assuming they'll just go back up to like even then like it's still like a pretty reasonable expense ratio. So they definitely got that part right. So again, according to the marketing material, why should you invest in this fund? They emphasize that they'll try to produce consistent monthly income. So hopefully they can do it. And I'm kind of wondering like at what cost. But so far, like if you just look through like the prospectus and the statement of additional information, you'll find information on like the fund managers. So this the first person, like Peter Hubbard, seems like he's been with the firm for like quite a while. So it's not like some guy off the street. And then additionally, if you look through like these other fund managers like John Borrello, Christoph Devine, Scott Hickson, each of these are CFA charter holders, so that carries some weight with me. And then looks like they've also been here for like with the Invesco for quite a while, since 2012. This person, 1998 for this person, 1994 for this person. So again, it's not like some kid off the street or a bum off the street or whatever. These are experienced professionals. So and they're willing to you know get the expense ratio at like a very respectable and competitive pricing. But here's kind of like the main drawback that I see. Instead of using like kind of like the traditional options or even like the flex options that some of these other ETF issuers are using, like the first thing I have a problem with is always like with transparency. Even though they list that, oh well, here it is. Like for example, this one, is RSPA. So then you see like a whole bunch of like RSP ELNs, which is at least they're breaking it down by number, but this doesn't really tell me anything. Like for example, RSP ELN 4209668. Well, what does that mean? Is that like a daily or is it like a weekly or what, like what's in here? Um, so I'm always curious because I want to see. I mean, it's great that it's an equity linked note, but that carries like counterparty risk. So at least like just as a way to compare. So you'll remember in the past, like if you watch some of my old videos regarding like the ProShare high income ETFs, like one of the point of contentions that I had was like the counterparty risk, and they never gave us like a full, like a term sheet or something. And that's the same issue here. But at least over here, with ProShares, like if you look at the description on the bottom, so this is from the ITWO. So they're using a daily cover call index swap with Goldman Sachs. So at least it's Goldman Sachs. Well, depending on if you like them or not, you might not want to go in this fund, but at least you have the information to kind of make that decision. Here it's kind of like, well, is it Citigroup or is it some other market maker? Is it RBS? Like who is it? And I mentioned Citigroup because I could have sworn like when I was going through the documents that I saw Citigroup somewhere, but that could have been me hallucinating. But so I don't want to spread any like rumors or like FUD or whatever. So for now we'll just have to take their word for it that these are that they've been screened. But that's one of the risks here. So in terms of like yields, they look. I mean, I guess compared to other option-based ETFs, they're not that exciting. So for the RSPA, like they only have one distribution so far because it's a new ETF. But according to like the projections, I'm just gonna go with this distribution rate because I think that's probably what's more interesting to people. So like they're gonna project that out to about 9%, which again it's not that exciting, but on the face of it. But if like the stock market is giving out, well, it is producing like roughly 10% gains every year, and you get like 9% of it like upfront through as a distribution. There it's not that bad. So this might be for some folks that want something a little bit more conservative. And then the same thing with QQA. If you look at the distribution rate, it's 10.31%. Again, still very respectable, but it's not as flashy as like some of these some of these other popular ETFs. And then for some reason EFAA it doesn't they don't have like their distribution that tab up yet. So I guess maybe they're updating it or something. And so their yield, like again, they don't have like the distribution rate here, but like this SEC 30-day yield, like is around like that 9-10%. So that seems to make sense to me. But it's just weird that this one doesn't have like that information, or maybe they haven't paid it out yet. I don't know. I haven't followed this unfortunately. So again, this is just my opinion. So I'll wait to see like what EFAA pays out. I mean, it'll probably be like around 9 to 10% anyway per year. So I think this is just my opinion. Like this will EFAA will probably be more useful for me because it's international diversification. RSPA is very interesting because it's an equal weight index. So this is kind of like basically like what SPY, and like any of their corresponding option-based ETFs. So this equal weighted. So for example, like Apple would be weighed the same as like Google or Microsoft, etc. So it's not like one guy is gonna take up like 20% and then everybody else gets like 2%. So this will be like equally weighted. So there's less concentration risk. So in case like any one company blows up, you have like other 499 to kind of like to make up for it. So in that regard, that might be useful for some people that they want something else besides XDT or iSpy or SpyEye, etc. And then QQA, this might be a useful as a kind of like a conservative backup. So what I mean is like let's say for example QDTE let's say, it gets ransacked even more, or maybe like you're a triple QY like refugee, and like you want something that maybe like you're not happy with the price performance and things like that. So this might be useful for some folks, because Invesco, like they've been around for quite a while. They might be stodgy, but there's probably a lower chance of tourist erosion, similar to the other big guys like BlackRock or maybe even like pro shares. So that could be useful for some people. Of course, this is just my opinion. We'll see how it all plays out. Now, in terms of like if this is like quality collateral, unfortunately, the Schwab pledged asset line, right now you can't even borrow against them, and my guess is that it's probably too new to really do anything with these guys. So it's always good to kind of like check up on this like every once in a while. So maybe after the 3 or 6 month mark, once they establish like a track record of distributions, then they might consider letting people, like the clients, borrow against it. So again, this is just my opinion. Please stay on top of your investment and hedges. Like, as more and more like these funds come out, like it's gonna be hard to kind of keep track of everything. But well, we'll do our best. Like, if people like gently nudge me or maybe like another YouTuber or whatever, I think we can all learn from each other. So thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you can. I hope people make some good money, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.